How is it going, you lovely lot? Welcome back to Tokyo Rising. Today's the start of Season 3. Today, we kick off our JFL season. 2 games at home. 2 games. I really want to hope we're going to win. The board expectation going into this year was to be an established JFL team, get that mid-table finish in the last year of our contract. I'm going to hope we get a new contract signed sooner rather than later. And as for things on the pitch, I think it's safe to say after a very successful transfer window, alongside Nankatsu, who were promoted with us, I want to be battling for promotion. We are currently second favourites for the title. Tochigi City, another team that used to play in the Kanto Division 1, right up there as well. I've got a pretty good feeling about this year, but, well, we've got Brio Becker to start things today, and as for their team, their media prediction 6th, have a sneaking suspicion they're going to be a test. It's a new season, it's a new era, one automatic promotion spot to battle for. Today, that adventure begins. Let's run the intro and get straight into things. Welcome back and happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are having an amazing day so far, and I hope you continue to have a fantabby-dozy week. I don't know why I've turned into a kid's daytime TV presenter. Let's not question it. Today, the season begins. We ended things last episode during pre-season, as I felt like I'd got most of the transfer business done. The transfer window closes today, the 27th of March. Our first game is tomorrow. I don't think there's going to be any late signings. We already have made a fair few transfers, it's safe to say, since the start of the pre-season. I mean, look at this here. Lots of new players coming in. There's been a high turnover. With a day left, if anything, I just want to get rid of some players. Cue me now just cutting straight to the start of the first game today. If no transfers happen. There is kind of the legacy of last year's team and the year before's team that you can see in the B team, which are going to be playing some games this year, but given the fact some of these players are on significant wages, I kind of want to just try and get rid of all of them. Yeah, transfer window closes for us tomorrow. Doesn't close for everyone tomorrow, so I suppose maybe teams will come in after the fact. And in terms of current transfers going on, no transfers in happening. However, we have got Uchiyama potentially leaving us. This man, when I first joined the club, was our hot prospect. He has 2-star potential. Some teams have decided he's worth £2,000. He's never going to play for us, so I'll happily take £2,000 if anyone wants to make that bid. Okay, Uchiyama leaving the club. We're going to get £1,900. It's one of the smaller transfer bids, but at least there is a percentage of profit of sell-on. Kamahara here has had some interest in him. He has even less potential, so I think I'm going to try and sell him as well. And with that, the deadline day has passed. There was no further interest in any of our players. We've made some pretty big additions to the team this year. We don't have the most players in, nor the most money spent, though. So as much as I feel like I've gone crazy in the market, I feel like, in the grand scheme of things, we've not gone too crazy. The JFL's kind of a mad league. Now, before we do get into the first game of today's episode, I am going to do a little bit of a squad rundown. I feel like given the high turnover of players, we've brought in some new players, we've lost a few legends like Watanabe as well. It's probably good just to recap the who's who. Who's good, who's not. Annoyingly, you look at the new starting 11, which has a lot of new players. Some of the most significant additions, players like Rio, who I really rate at centre-back, and our upcoming centre defensive mid prospect, I hope, Yoshikawa. They're both suspended for the very first game of the year, so you're not going to get to meet all the new players straight away. So heading into the new season, our first team squad sits at 23 players. That is a bit lower than it was at the end of last video. I've demoted a few more players down to the B team. There's a couple of positions like right back where perhaps we're a player or two short. If I do have any issues there, I've got players I can just promote from the B team up. But in terms of the players I'd ideally like to use, they are on screen here. And it's safe to say when it comes to the new starting 11, there's plenty of new players here. Of course, Noda in goal. I feel like I need to see magic from him. The 18-year-old with perfectionist personality, one of the few players I've signed, in fact, he might be the only player I've signed, that does have a minimum release clause to teams in a higher division. I'm desperate to sign him on a new contract as soon as possible to remove that. I am also a little bit scared by his eccentricity. Because the defence does have some new faces. Mitsuhashi, though, is going to hold down his spot at right back. He was very, very reliable, I feel like, over the last few years. I feel like his ratings were never that good, but I just liked him. Do you ever have players you like inexplicably? Yeah, Mitsuhashi is that man for me. Now, as I already mentioned, Ryo Sugetsu is not going to be available for today's game, and in fact, I'm just going to nickname him Rio. Because, well, I say nickname, it's his first name. We can call him Rio. I feel like, we've got a lot of players beginning with the letter S that I'm going to get confused with, and he gives me Rio Ferdinand vibes. At least that's what I'm hoping the vibes are he's going to give me. Another new centre-back that we picked up this year who will be starting the first game is Takeshi Ishizuka. Fantastic name. Fun name to say. Fun little centre-back as well. Of course, our go-to defender previously had been Kim. He is our vice-captain who I've promised if he gets a 7.4 rating, he can stay as the vice-captain. I really wanted to remove him as a vice-captain, but I was scared he might cry. Safe to say when you look at him versus Takeshi, we have got an upgrade in the defensive department. In the left-back department, another player who is unfortunately suspended for today's game and is actually naturally a centre-back. But for me, he is going to be a left-back. Numata here is a good little player. Last year, our go-to left-back option was Kobayashi, and in fact, he will be starting the first game of the season in that area. In terms of the head-to-head, Numata is marginally better, but this is definitely one of those positions where, depending on how players turn up and perform, we may end up just picking it entirely based on role. With Kobayashi slipping down to the bench, not too concerned with things, especially because he is super versatile. Like I said, he is going to be starting the first game today anyway, but Numata, I think, is a good option there. Jun Nakajima was our star man in the wide area on the left-hand side alongside Watanabe on the right. Watanabe's left the club. Jun, I think, unfortunately, is going to be on the bench simply because the midfield has seen a bit of an unexpected revolution. We have here Kayanoki, 21 years old, and there's one thing you need to know about this guy. He's quick, and he's aggressive. That's two things, technically. I like the good look of this guy as a left-back. I mean, his polygon looks a bit like a slightly deformed fish, which can only be a good omen. Over on the right-hand side, like I already mentioned, we lost Watanabe. That was a significant miss, but I do look at Komori, and I feel like we've maybe got a side grade, if not an upgrade in this guy. 18 years old, contracted for the next couple of years. Between last episode and this episode, I did trigger a load of the optional contract extensions. Of course, there's one player who wasn't happy about that previously. Good news for us is many of the players whose contracts I did trigger extensions on are still happy. One such player is Yoshikawa, a centre-back with 5 jumping reach. We don't like that here, but the man is going to be a really good ball-winning midfielder once he learns to play there. I'm going to hope he picks up quickly. And alongside him, another player who we're kind of shuffling back is Yamada. This guy, 13 passing, 12 vision, good technique, really good technicals and mentals for an advanced playmaker, or an Enganche. That's not where we're going to play him, though. I am currently training his quickness. In fact, no, that's a lie. I'm training his endurance, because that needs to improve as well. Yamada here is an exciting, creative player who doesn't really have legs. They call him the Japanese Riquelme. Ida, of course, was that creative spark in our team who had some really good physicals. I do feel like at times this year, Ida is going to have opportunities to shine, and similarly to a few other positions, whilst I have opted to sign a new player to slot into our system, I've not got rid of the previous player who used to play that role in the system, so if it doesn't work out, there is still the option to fall back on what we know. And speaking of what we know, in the starting 11, one of the few players to hold down to his spot is Yuichi Otta, 21 years old, star man of this team, and alongside him, Takagi, of course, the man who cried when I extended his contract. He's still unhappy. Lots of the players want me to just sell him, but even if I wanted to sell him, no one's going to bid on him because he literally signed for us last week. Not literally. It was a few months ago now. But fundamentally, I don't want to lose him. I hope he's going to overcome his unhappiness. And he is, well, without a doubt, our best player. Don't be deceived by the fact he's on £150 a week. That is a scam of a contract that I got him on. Didn't really realise until today how much I have changed the starting 11. More than I really expected or wanted to do. But there was just a lot of quality out there to sign players. And I want to make sure we're not stuck in the JFL for too long. That one automatic promotion spot means things are going to be tough. And there is a significant gulf in class between the JFL teams at the bottom and the JFL teams at the top. And I feel like that's kind of shown actually when you look at last year's league table, where the winners got 62 points, runners-up got 60. There were 2 teams at the bottom of the table that did not get more than 5 wins in 30 games. It is really crazy, the gulf in quality of teams at this level. Anyway, Brio Becker are our first opposition today to kick off the season. Their media prediction is Synth. Shun Ito is their key man. He is in the media dream 11, and I'll be honest, he is a very good player, either-footed, very quick, good average ratings. He scares me. Now, of course, I already ran through the new starting 11, but in terms of players outside the starting 11, it's a lot of the players that you know, and due to a number of suspensions, I have still got to shuffle things around here. So let me fix this real quick. And now, all of a sudden, the team looks a little bit more familiar. Sawa is going to be playing at ball-winning midfielder today as that defensive mid option. Kim is going to be playing as a ball-playing defender in the heart of the defence, alongside Kobayashi at left-back. Like I already mentioned, whilst there is a lot of new players in the starting 11, the backups are players that we all know, love, and I'm sure they're going to be called upon this year, as, well, they are going to be today. We have got a second game coming up today against Okinawa. They finished, I believe, mid-table last year, so this is definitely the more tricky of the two games today. But given our media prediction, I'm going to hope we hit the ground running. Of course, there's always a risk when you bring in a load of new players that it takes them a little while to gel with one another, learn a new tactical system. I'm going to hope that the 4-4-2 continues to work for us. Of course, this is a really good counter-attacking system. Given that we're going to go into a lot of games today with lower reputation, I'm going to hope teams are going to underestimate them. And much like we did last year, we can expose them on the counter. Also, you might notice around the edge of the pitch with the mega pack that I use in Japan, the ad boards update as you climb through the leagues. We now have the JFL ad boards around the edge. I know, my oh my, what a time for change. Also, they're on the attack. I don't like this. I don't want to concede and lose the first game of the year. You know, I've got pretty high aspirations, even if the board haven't. Our media prediction, after all the transfers of second, really makes me think we should be gunning at the top alongside Nankatsu, of course, our fierce rivals. My fear is that if we get off to a slow start, if all the new signings don't really work out, we're going to have a mountain to climb as the season goes on if we do want to make it out this division. Given the fact there is that one automatic promotion spot, it's going to be fiercely contested. They've scored there. I have caught in the corner of my eye, though. The flag's been raised. Takeshi, he's left his castle and he's ended up getting a yellow card very early on in this game. Keep an eye on that. I feel like with so many new players, I don't know who I can trust to get on a booking. Komori, by the way, the 18-year-old, cutting inside, very nearly went all the way on his own. Last year, we were so dependent on our wingers. Of course, Watanabe left us. We have just dropped Jun Nakajima down to the bench. But when we look at Kayanoki and Komori, they are two very, very young, exciting wide midfielders. I mean, it's easy to forget someone like Komori is 18 years old out on the right-hand side of the midfield. He has got big boots to fill, and while speaking of the devil, here is the number 7. Can he channel his inner Watanabe? That was an awful cross, but the ball's not cleared away. Takagi has an effort, and it's blocked wide. They had a few chances, didn't they, right at the start of the game. Since then, it has been one-way traffic. We're not having much of the ball. That's kind of by design. We've had 10 shots, make that 11. We are catching them on the counter. You can see here how many players they've got committed to the attack, in spite of the fact they are playing a free-at-the-back system. Kayanoki plays it to Takagi, the new star man, potentially. Not with finishing like that. The keeper did make a save, to be fair. Kayanoki, come on. Unleash the fish. He whips it in. Kim's there. And well, for a moment, I thought Kim was just going to get his noggin on it. It'd be very on brand, wouldn't it? You sign a whole new first team, it's still just the old guard that get the goals that we need. Not on that occasion, but nevertheless, we've still got the ball here. Kayanoki, really involved in the play so far. He's going to float it across. Komori was there. Lee Junhee for them plucks the ball out the air, and with 5 minutes left of the second half, a goal for either team would really change the complexion of this tie. Kim wins his initial header, Yamada working hard in the middle, Kayanoki to Otta, who's now going to try and make something happen. Komori did have Mitsuhashi on the overlap, opts though to go on his lonesome. Players to aim for in the middle, can he pick out one of them? Instead, he gives it to Yamada. His cross, I'll be honest, is not inspiring, but Mitsuhashi still has the ball. The right back lays it across to Kobayashi at left back. Our old school wing backs, they're back, they're here, they're setting up Kayanoki. He has options in the middle, and Takagi, he might be crying, he might not want to be here, he's got on the score sheet. Takagi, by the way, is comfortably the best player that we picked up this summer. He is ridiculously good for this level. I'm expecting some crazy goal output, but I know until I can sort out his contract situation and try and cheer him up, there's just going to be this cloud hanging over his head. You know, maybe I can bribe him with sweets and candy and cake or something. That's what makes me happy. Do you reckon it works for him? That should be an option in Football Manager. Buy a player a cake. Yaya Toure would approve, and well, Takagi might approve of it as well. He's going on his lonesome. He cuts inside, lays it to Yamada, who finds the back of the net. Shigeru Yamada, remember the name, the advanced playmaker, the youngster, makes his debut with a goal. Takagi on this occasion with some really intelligent play. I thought he was going to do a bit of a brain-dead shot, but instead he pulled it across to Yamada, and the number 8 tucks it away. Just as a reminder, Yamada was playing high school football last year. He's now playing in the 4th tier of Japan, and he's turning up, looking bloody great, as is the whole team. I'm going to tell them I'm really, really happy. Takeshi on a yellow card scares me. I'm just going to bring in Messiah for him. Of course, Messiah... What's happened to Messiah? Is he okay? What? Why is it... What's happened here? What happened to his... What happened in the off-season? Did I miss something? He wasn't injured? Is this just because he learned to play centre-back a little bit more? I'm now scared to play him at centre-back. Is he okay? I mean, I have to hope he is, because he's my only centre-back option on the bench. In terms of the rest of the team, Sauer's been a bit quiet today. Kamori, I really bigged him up. He's not made a splash, the 18-year-old. Another player making that step up from high school football, mind you. Not going to, I think, panic too much and make too many changes. Instead, let's get in to this second half. 2 goals to the good. They've not had a shot on target. I don't need to panic. If you have seen anything like Kajitsuka's attributes this year, please let me know. The only time I can really remember that happening is if a player maxes out their current ability, then learns a new position. When a player picks up positions, it kind of eats up current ability. And if there isn't more potential to fulfill, obviously, in learning the new position, they just lose ability as a footballer. I think that's what's happened. One player who's not lost ability as a footballer, I was going to say it's Otter, but the goal's ruled out. It was offside. Okay, I'm going to try Takagi just as the advance forward. I feel like, you know, there's an opportunity maybe to experiment with things here. I'm going to bring in Sharad Akai as our big physical specimen in the final third. Kayanoki can only play on the left-hand side. Komori's not been great in this game, but Jun, who last year was our left mid, can play on the right. So I feel like it makes sense to bring him in. Elsewhere, do I want to make more changes? I don't know if I do. There's so many green ratings for players in the final thirds. I don't want to change things that aren't broken. 2 goals to the good is nice. I mean, I feel like it's a bit of a statement of where we're at and where we want to be. A third goal would be nicer, wouldn't it? 2-0, you know, when you see that scoreline, you go, well, it's a win. 3-0, you go, oh, that was a comfortable win. And I want things to be comfortable. Jun, welcome back to the first team. He floats it. Akai is there. And for a moment, I was just getting flashbacks to last year. It was like we never left. Jun over the corner, going to whip it towards the back post. Kim is there. He can't get there. Can he keep the ball alive, though? Of course he bloody can. And Kim does have the ability to pass. He gives it to Kayanoki, the fish, who goes down. I was waiting for the penalty to be given. Spoilers, not been given. And now it's Sagano for them looking to bring the ball out. As good as it is at 2-0, if they do get 1 goal back, squeaky bum time, it might start to commence. Things might just start to get a little bit nervous. Sagano lays it inside to Yasunaga. He plays it forward, but Mitsuhashi reads it well. And now Jun, fresh off the bench, fresh as the daisy. Well, thought he was going to run with the ball. Instead, he lays a wayward pass. Their star man, by the way, Ito, on a yellow card, looking frustrated. We have kept him quiet in this one here, as Sauer, Captain Fantastic, just runs and shoots it against the post. That was a weird highlight. 74 minutes played. Akai losing out the ball. Sagano to Miura. There is an option in behind. I'll tell you what, they've picked out that option. Keeper gets there. Baby Noda is what I've heard people want me to refer to Noda as. It's like, you know, Baby Yoda, Baby Noda. I don't know if that's going to catch on. Do we just call him the baby? I mean, he is a child, and he did cry until I put a release clause in his contract. So I feel like it's apt. Takasuki has a chance here. He takes his chance. Takagi. Say it with me. I didn't say it correctly there in the commentary. I need to work on it. You know, it's a new name to my vocabulary. The irony of the fact that I struggled there to say the word vocabulary, not lost me. I still feel like I've just said it wrong. Help me. It's 3-0. I swear I know how to talk. 3-0 up in this game. We've got an XG of over 3. I think it's safe to say we deserve what we've got in this game. Only 38% of the ball, and yet we've had 22 shots. It's very much been a Tokyo 23 performance to kick off the season. A clean sheet with a whole load of new players. Baby Noda, 7.5 rating. Is this what it's like to have a competent goalkeeper? I want to sit here and be like, yeah, we're top of the league. Only 2 teams have played. I will say, however, Honda FC, who I had noticed had spent a lot of money and are not a bad little team, they've lost on their first game of the year. That is not ideal for them. And in fact, the team they lost to in Okinawa SV, who are currently second in the league, because we're the only other team to have played alongside them to start the year, are the team we've got up next. Can I claim this as a top-of-the-table affair? I'm definitely going to do that. That game is in 4 days. Let's get straight into it. Another game at home. Gonna hope we come up good. Okay, some good news. We have a new contract. I did ask the board for it. I was hoping off the back of that good win to start the year they'd grant me it, and they have done just that. I'm going to hope it's longer than a 1-year extension. The sad reality is it's not that. It's a contract to 2028. It's better than a contract to 2027. I am just going to sign it. Anyway, we're 5 hours away from kickoff of the next game. The board are delighted. And by the way, you might have noticed, I have dropped down to second. Tajigi City also won their first game of the year. They won 4-1. So they're ahead of us on goals scored. The man who's got their goals was Fujio here, who he's their captain. Looks quite good, doesn't he? Anyway, much like last game, we are one of the few teams actually playing on the day I'm back for a game. In fact, we're the only team playing today. I'm not sure why. Answers on a postcard. It might actually be to do with, I only noticed this now, by now I mean after the first game of the year, we're actually playing in a different stadium this year. We're having to play in the Komazawa Olympic Stadium. I guess this is because our previous stadium didn't fulfill the requirements, but the capacity of this ground is 22,000. It hasn't updated as our new permanent home, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on. Unless there's another team that have games on at the same time as us, so we've been forced to move. It's a mystery. We may never know why I don't play at the ground that we're meant to play at. I think it's just because it doesn't fulfill JFL requirements. In fact, can I see? I mean, it says the JFL here can be played at our stadium. Yeah, I don't know. One of life's mysteries. If you've got any theories regarding that down below, please let me know. Either way, we're playing at the Olympic Park Stadium. Lots more fans can turn up for games. Still don't think we're quite going to be selling out the 22,000 seats. In terms of the team news for today's game, one change I'm allowed to make is the fact that I can actually bring in Numata to make his debut at left back. I feel like I want to call this guy Masairu Numata for the rest of you know, it's like Hakuna Matata. I really shouldn't sing, should I? In these videos. One day I'll get that memo. But yes, Numata's back, Rio's not available, and neither is Yoshikawa. So two of the players I was most excited about in our team, still suspended. I assume they're like suspended for a couple of games due to yellow cards or red cards domestically during their time at university, as opposed to like doping bans or something. Imagine if they added doping bans to football managers for new gens. That'd be mental. They should do that. Would that be fun? It probably wouldn't be fun. Either way, the team's had a few days rest and there isn't too much in the way of radical change. We're going to stick with the exact same team with the exception of Kobayashi dropping down to the bench, and I'm going to hope we can get another good result. Okinawa win their first game of the year, but at home, I back us to get a result. If it does turn out, by the way, that this stadium is just our new home, we will do an away day. I am conscious, no away day today. That is mostly because, well, the two games have been at home. And also, it's just the start of the season. There's been a lot to cover with all the new signings coming in. I feel like I've got to familiarise you with all the new players that have arrived that, well, in their first game, played really well. Takagi, I didn't really mention it. He got 2 goals and an assist, the striker, in that first game of the year. We're going to hope he continues in a similar mould today. Have a feeling we might be tested a little bit more defensively in this game. It's safe to say we were good defensively last game, but the keeper, Baby Noda, was not called into action. Maybe he'll have stuff to do today, or maybe Takagi is just going to do Takagi things. I don't know what Takagi things are, but after 96 minutes, I think it's just score goals for us. It's one of those goals where Sauer is awarded an assist, but the reality is he done nothing of creative value to make this goal happen. He's given it to Takagi, who hits it first time. Keeper got his fingertips to it, still ended up in the back of the net. Had a good start to this game. There's not been an immediate follow-up like there was previously, although that said, we are still creating a fair amount here. We've had 61% of the ball, and it's Takagi in possession here. Goes on his lonesome. For a second, I thought he was just going to score another absolutely insane wonder goal. Maybe now, though, we need to fear the counter-attack. The ball's played forward from Kim to Kim, and now with Numata at left back. We're going to see what he is capable of. That was actually a really nice pass, wasn't it? Down the line. And, well, we still have the play here. Otter's offside. That's not going to count, is it? It's an annoyingly good finish, but you just knew it was off. Less than 5 minutes left of this first half. No further highlights. We've got a goal ahead. We've not created a whole lot else, but when you look at the player ratings, they all look big, green, and happy. They've not had a shot on target. You know it's good because I'm just going to skip the bit ahead of the team talk. I want to get straight in and praise the players. Kayanoki hasn't had the best of first halves. He's on a 6.6 rating, so I'm just going to slot Jun Nakajima straight into the team. Yamada's not been great in this game either. He did get a goal last game, so I feel like for that reason and that reason alone, I need to show some patience. But Ida might be a player we need to bring on sooner rather than later in the second half. It's annoying, right? Clean sheet, 55 minutes played here. They've not had a shot on target. No one in our defence has above a 6.9 rating. If we go on to get the clean sheet in this game, suddenly all their ratings will jump at the end of the game. But I feel like it is just one of those flaws of Football Manager that defenders just don't get good ratings unless you get a clean sheet or a goal or an assist. Anyway, I'm going to make some changes here. I'm going to take off Mitsuhashi, who needs a little bit of a rest. Otter was quiet in the opening stages of that game. We gave Akai the game previously. I'm going to bring in Otsuka here. Otsuka is a very good player for this level. I'm very confident that he can get some goals. And, well, I feel like this maybe here is a chance for him to prove just that. I was going to say, under a low-pressure environment, it's a chance for him. But the reality is, it's only 1-0. You know, I'm feeling very comfortable and confident in this game. But the longer it remains at 1-0, the more I begin to worry, It only takes one chance to get a goal. 14 minutes left. Baby Noda with the goal kick. I am just going to call him Baby Noda now. I could just call him Baby, but then I think of the Justin Bieber song and it just doesn't work. Kim, down the line to Otsuka. What can you do, mate? I brought you on off the bench. Stake a claim for a spot in the first team. He drills it in. Takagi is there. That's 2-0. Now I can relax. Otsuka stretching his slightly fresher legs, drilling the ball in, and Takagi has 2 more goals today. That is 4 goals in today's episode. I really need to make him happy, don't I? It's such a cursed situation. I feel like I've got this crazy goal scorer, a player who I genuinely think could be like a good J2 striker for us. He is that good up top. But the reality is, he's talking about wanting to leave the club. And whilst I've got him contracted for another 18 months, I need to convince him to stay. I mean, if he continues to play like this, maybe he will change his tune. It's another clean sheet. It's another great performance. Noda, 7.4. Loads of really good ratings across the board as well. If you don't concede a goal, you're not going to lose. And I feel like that is a mantra we can carry on through this year. We go top of the table. We're the only team to play 2 games. We're not going to get too carried away there. But in terms of starts we could have hoped for, couldn't have been much better than this. Takagi, I know you're difficult, mate. I'm really pleased with you. Look at that. He went from difficult to very happy. Maybe this is how we rebuild things. Now, we are in the Tokyo Cup. This is the regional cup competition. Nankatsu actually won it last year, which was a little bit of a shock. We enter at the quarterfinal stage, where we actually get to play against Musashino United, who are another team in the JFL. The further on into this competition you get, the better some of the teams are that get added, including the likes of Nankatsu. There is also a J3 team in here. And whilst, you know what, the Tokyo Cup isn't the be-all or end-all, and also I've just noticed this is the stadium we've been playing at, this team, Kriakau? I feel like this is one of those examples where a Japanese team's taken a European name. It almost looks like Brazilian or Portuguese, doesn't it? But I digress. Whilst I'm not going to come back for the quarterfinals of the Tokyo Cup, if we do find ourselves in the semi-final or final, I might well have to come back for that because there is a little bit of prize money. I do kind of need some money at the moment as well too. Looking slightly further ahead, I am looking at Nankatsu and Tajigi City as 2 games that could be interesting to come back for. Both those games are in June, and whilst we are only in April, there's only 2 games in May because Japan scheduling. If you've got any tips on how I can cheer up Takagi, please let me know them down below. And equally, if you've seen anything like what's happened to Messiah and his attributes, please also let me know. You can see it, there's now no red arrows. Was it a bug? Was it just a fever dream? No, he really did just drop off in the month of March. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching as always. Hopefully you're excited for this new season to get underway. We will have an away day tomorrow, I promise you. Until then, though, take things easy. Go down below the video, leave a like, and I'll see you same time and place as always for more. I'm out.